Why do some people win slowly but never stop winning? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not motivation. It's consistency. Big success doesn't come from big actions. It comes from small actions repeated daily. Most people start strong. They feel inspired. They feel excited. But when the emotion fades, they stop. And when they stop, progress resets. Consistency is different. Consistency doesn't depend on mood. It doesn't wait for motivation. It moves whether you feel like it or not. That is power. In this video, you'll understand why consistency beats talent, why small daily effort crushes occasional intensity, and how building steady habits can completely transform your life. Habit 1: Lower the standard, raise the frequency. Most people fail because they aim too big at the start. They try to change everything at once. The pressure becomes heavy, and when they miss one day, they quit completely. They believe success requires massive effort immediately, so they overload themselves. But when the standard is too high, consistency breaks under pressure. Lowering the standard means making the daily action so small that skipping it feels unnecessary. It removes intimidation. It removes resistance. Instead of demanding perfection, you demand presence. Instead of chasing intensity, you commit to repetition. Consistency grows when the action is small but repeated daily. Small actions are easier to start. And when something is easy to start, it is easier to repeat. Repetition builds rhythm. Rhythm builds stability. Stability builds long-term results. It is better to do a little every day than a lot once a week because consistency trains your identity. When you act daily, your brain begins to see that behavior as normal. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who does. Frequency builds identity. Identity builds power. When showing up becomes automatic, progress stops depending on emotion. It becomes part of who you are. And once consistency becomes part of your identity, success is no longer random. It becomes predictable. Habit 2: Remove emotion from the process. If you rely on motivation, you will always be unstable. Motivation is emotional energy, and emotions shift constantly. Some days you feel powerful. Some days you feel distracted. Some days you feel driven. Other days you feel empty. If your actions depend on those fluctuations, your results will always be inconsistent. Consistency demands emotional neutrality. When you remove emotion from the process, you eliminate negotiation. You stop asking yourself whether you feel ready. You stop waiting for the perfect mood. You understand that execution is not based on desire, it is based on decision. The moment you decide, the debate ends. Instead of checking your feelings, you follow your structure. When the time says act, you act. When the schedule says focus, you focus. Not because it feels exciting. Not because you are inspired. But because you committed in advance. This reduces mental friction. Overthinking drains energy. Emotional hesitation creates resistance. But when action becomes automatic, resistance weakens. Your mind begins to accept that performance is standard, not optional. Professionals operate this way. They do not depend on mood. They depend on discipline. They perform whether they feel strong or not. That reliability creates long-term dominance. When you remove emotion from the process, you gain stability. Stability builds confidence. Confidence strengthens identity. And the person who executes on difficult days will always surpass the person who waits for easy ones. Habit 3: Focus on the process, not the results. Results are slow at the beginning. That is the reality most people are not prepared for. They start with excitement and expectation. They want visible proof that their effort is paying off. They look for quick validation. And when they don't see it, frustration replaces motivation. That frustration is dangerous. When your effort depends on visible results, your commitment becomes unstable. If progress looks good, you feel strong. If progress looks slow, you feel discouraged. Your emotions start controlling your work. And once emotions control the work, consistency weakens. The process removes that instability. The process is the daily action you control. It is the routine you follow. It is the standard you maintain. It is the repetition you commit to whether you see progress or not. Unlike results, which are influenced by time and external factors, the process is fully within your control. When you shift your focus to execution instead of outcome, pressure decreases. You stop chasing proof. You stop obsessing over timelines. Instead of asking, "Is it working?" you ask, "Did I do my part today?" That question keeps you grounded. Success becomes simple. Show up. Complete the work. Improve slightly. Repeat. Over time, something powerful happens. The process reshapes your identity. You stop being someone who hopes for results and become someone who executes daily. That shift changes everything. Because once execution becomes your identity, results stop being the goal, they become the consequence. Results are delayed, but they are not random. Every repetition adds weight. Every effort adds strength. Progress builds quietly beneath the surface before it becomes visible. By the time others notice, you've already built momentum. When you trust the process, impatience loses power. When impatience disappears, consistency survives. And when consistency survives long enough, results become inevitable. Habit 4. Track your actions. Tracking your actions is the bridge between intention and results. Most people have goals, but goals alone mean nothing without clarity on what you actually do to achieve them. Writing down or recording your daily actions forces awareness. It shows exactly where your time, energy, and effort are going. Without this visibility, it's easy to overestimate your productivity, convince yourself you are making progress, or lose focus entirely. A consistent record builds accountability. When you see a streak forming, you feel the pressure to maintain it, not from others, but from yourself. Every day you show up adds weight to that streak. Every missed day stands out. That visible chain becomes a motivating force, reinforcing your commitment and making it psychologically harder to break the habit. Tracking also reveals patterns you might otherwise miss. You begin to see which actions consistently lead to results and which drain your energy without moving you forward. That insight allows you to adjust your routine, remove inefficiencies, and optimize the way you work. Over time, this process of observation and correction compounds. Small improvements add up. Consistency grows stronger. Habits become automatic. Execution becomes effortless. Beyond awareness and accountability, tracking creates a sense of progress even when results are delayed. Seeing repeated action builds confidence and proof that you are moving forward, which fuels motivation and strengthens discipline. It turns vague ambitions into concrete, measurable steps and transforms hope into action. If consistency is the engine of success, tracking is the fuel. It ensures that every effort counts, every day matters, and every action is aligned with your goals. The longer you maintain this system, the less you rely on emotion, luck, or external validation, because your results will start speaking for themselves. Habit 5. Protect your routine. Consistency dies in chaos. Without structure, your habits have no foundation. Random schedules, unexpected interruptions, and constant decision-making create friction that slowly erodes your ability to act every day. Even small distractions or irregular patterns make it harder to maintain momentum. Over time, this leads to broken habits, missed opportunities, and frustration. The person who drifts through their day without a plan rarely achieves meaningful results. To protect your routine, start by creating fixed times for your key actions. Assign specific hours for your most important work. When a task has a set time in your day, your mind stops negotiating. You no longer question whether you will start. You no longer delay. The routine moves from being a conscious effort into a standard, automatic part of your life. The power of a fixed schedule is that it reduces resistance before it even begins. Next, create an environment that supports your actions. Distractions are silent killers of consistency. Arrange your space so it encourages focus. Remove anything that tempts procrastination. Make it obvious to your mind that this is work time, not leisure time. Your environment should signal action automatically. Even small adjustments, like turning off notifications, clearing your desk, or creating a dedicated workspace, can dramatically strengthen your ability to maintain a routine. Make your actions automatic. The less you have to think about starting, the easier it becomes to keep showing up. Habits that rely on decision-making are fragile because your brain will always look for shortcuts or excuses. Habits that trigger automatically are nearly unstoppable because they require no energy to begin. Protecting your routine with time, space, and structure creates a system where your consistency is supported by design, not by motivation or willpower. Finally, understand that protecting your routine is a long-term strategy. Life will always throw challenges at you, but the stronger your structure, the less likely you are to be derailed. A protected routine turns small daily actions into compounding progress. It creates momentum that grows over weeks and months. When you guard your routine, consistency becomes inevitable, and success becomes predictable. Habit 6. Accept boring repetition. Consistency is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It does not give instant results or constant adrenaline. Most people quit because the work feels ordinary, repetitive, or even boring. They want excitement, variety, or the immediate thrill of progress. When they don't get it, they lose interest and stop. But repetition is the hidden engine of mastery. Every small action you repeat, every basic step you perform daily, strengthens your skill and your discipline. Mastery is not created in dramatic moments. It is built quietly, day after day, through the same foundational actions. The people who win long-term are not those who work harder once in a while. They are those who can perform the basics consistently longer than anyone else. Repetition creates habits. Habits remove friction. When a basic action becomes automatic, you no longer fight yourself to do it. The energy you save by automating the small, repeated tasks can be invested in improvement, growth, or scaling results. You must embrace the monotony. You must accept that the work will feel boring. That is the price of power. The tasks that feel easy, ordinary, or repetitive are the ones that compound over time into extraordinary results. The difference between people who plateau and people who dominate is the ability to persist quietly when excitement fades. Consistency is not flashy. It is steady. It is boring. It is simple. But it is unstoppable. Those who accept this truth and commit to repetition, no matter how dull it feels, build skills, habits, and results that cannot be taken away. Habit 7. Never miss twice. You will miss a day. That is normal. Everyone does at some point. Life throws unexpected challenges, energy dips, or moments when circumstances pull you off track. Missing once does not define failure. It is simply part of the process. What destroys consistency is missing twice in a row. One missed day can be forgotten. 2 missed days in a row create a dangerous pattern. Your mind begins to accept skipping as normal. Momentum is lost. Excuses become easier. The streak breaks, and habits weaken. The key is immediate recovery. As soon as you miss, reset. Don't dwell on what went wrong. Don't allow guilt or frustration to paralyze you. Take action the very next opportunity. Protect the streak of effort you are building. Each consecutive day you perform strengthens discipline. Each consecutive day missed weakens it. Never letting a single miss turn into a habit separates people who succeed from those who give up. Consistency is not perfection, it is resilience. The strength comes from your ability to return quickly, learn from the miss, and continue without hesitation. Missing once is acceptable. Missing twice is dangerous. Commit to recovery. Reset fast. Show up again immediately. That is how small actions compound into unstoppable results. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up, day after day, no matter how you feel. Every small action you repeat builds your skills, your habits, and your results. The people who succeed are not the ones who start strong, they are the ones who refuse to stop. If this video helped you understand the power of consistency, take action now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss content that strengthens your mindset and discipline.